Hey, this is Mariela from the Functional Company. All right, let's get into the topic of fasting a little bit more. So one of the most important reasons why fasting is important is because we're stimulating the autophagy mechanism that our cells have. Now remember that autophagy is basically a mechanism that your body has where inside of the cell you have something that's like a garbage disposal, which is activated or optimized at around 16 to 18 hours of fasting. So what that means is that around that amount of time of fasting, the body is actually turning these things on, optimizing it, and then you're basically getting all of the trash is getting consumed into this garbage disposal that the cell has. But from that, what we get is raw material for the body. This is actually very important because one of the things that sometimes can happen, one of the concerns that people have, and I actually got this question through Instagram, is that somebody asked like, hey, what about protein? What if somebody says you need to have more protein? I'm concerned that you're not getting enough protein during the fasting period. Well, there are a couple things with this. One of them is that through autophagy, when the body is consuming all of the trash, and actually just cleaning up the body, it produces raw material for the body. Remember that the raw material is protein, right? Protein particles are what makes up, they're the building blocks of the body. So it's amazing that through the autophagy or through stimulating autophagy, you're getting all of the trash cleaned up from the body, and then you're producing raw material, which is these protein compounds that our body uses to rebuild itself. Incredible mechanism. And hey, it makes sense to me because our ancestors were this way, right? They didn't have refrigerators. They would have to hunt, and then they would feast for a few days, and then they would have to fast until they would have their next hunt. So our bodies are actually made to be going through these feasting and fasting cycles. And there are internal mechanisms where the body produces these proteins. Now, of course, what I have noticed and what I've seen is that if the fasting period is done for an extended period of time, let's say 5 days or longer, there could be a little bit of muscle breakdown that happens on the very short term. But what happens after that is that the body's actually much better at retaining the protein into the future and actually builds stronger muscles. So it seems like somebody could kind of get a little bit thinner on the short term, but actually after that, once they start eating back to normal, they're building, their ability to build and sustain muscle and protein compounds in their body is actually much better and more efficient. So you kind of have to look at the overall picture and really study how our ancestors ate, and it's a very interesting thing, but we're doing this for a lot of different reasons, and I'll get more into so many different reasons why fasting is important in the future episodes. So right now I just kind of wanted to remind you about autophagy, which is something that I highly recommend that you look up. The Nobel Prize was won in 2016 for someone who discovered the mechanism of autophagy inside of the body. So it's an incredible thing that we have, and it's a great way to diminish the incidence of cancer, for example. If you even did just a one day fast once a year, it would help a lot. Now, if you did that once a month, that would help even more, because we have all these half-dead cells. It's not like our bodies don't have cancer cells, right? But our body usually can control all of these things. And so what we want to do is just optimize our body to be able to deal with all of the junk, all of the half-dead cells, all of the potentially dangerous cells that our body has. Let the body just clean all that up, and it optimizes us into the future. So that's one of the main reasons why we really want to get into a practice of fasting. You don't have to do it very often, and remember that you have to do it gradually. It's not something where you just do a one-day fast from the get-go. There are a lot of things to kind of really learn and keep our mind on, and I'll get into those into the future. But I just kind of want to mention this thing about autophagy again, what it's really doing for us and how we're really cleaning up the body, and we're actually producing the proteins through that entire process. So we don't have to worry too much about that, but we do have to stay nice and hydrated during that time. All right, so thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the flip side.